That's a rarity. It's me tonight. I've been dealing with a lot of... Well, there's a guy.
I had to do the switchy thingy.
The switchy thingy?
Yeah, I was over hanging out with the Geek Tank folk.
And then you got a notification that you went live?
Yeah, then I was going live, and I'm like, uh-oh.
So how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. I'm still kind of catching on with stuff. So, like, it's... We think on Mondays. Yes, so this was a swap over. I did get bags and boards. Or bags and boards. So I bagged and boarded the remaining 5 copies of the first issue of my comic that I made. And as I was showing on Geek Tank, I discovered, and you can't read it very easily, but it says April of 2021 that I published this one. So, you know.
Just a little off there.
Yeah, we should check that. So when we repop that one, which the tech manual could be repopped, thank you, Donald. I appreciate that. We've been having a discussion about me charging $10 a copy because everybody's saying that's a perfectly reasonable price, and my imposter syndrome is saying no, it's not. And so we've been struggling with my imposter syndrome for a couple of days now. So there's that. It's good to see you back in the saddle, my friend. Hope your break was good for you.
It's been a journey.
Hope your break was a journey. That was a good journey, and not the Chinese version of the journey, which would be interesting. May all your lifestyle be interesting, or whatever it is that makes you go, "Oh crap, that was an insult, wasn't it?" So, if all goes well, I have been, $100 there. You said it. Thanks. Maybe one day it'll be $100, but I dare say, my dear friend, it will be many years after I am gone, because it's not the way the world works with artists. We are destined to suffer. We're like C-3PO. We are built to suffer.
And suffer we must.
So I'm opening up. Side story. That's not it. That's it. All right. I will put up my drawing monitor with the warning, which doesn't work for this one. Oh no, we need to make that. Oh, this is getting funnier. Now, when Kayan attacks in the nude, things aren't getting any better. Things are not getting better. We're just saying. Holographic covers kick.
Let me get my raincoat.
Right? Intentionally naked drawings. The warning has been said because I'm going to be working on my next pets, and I don't want people to report me to prison. So. All right. What is the end of this problem, child? Here.
So your comic is what, 32 pages?
Yeah.
And you're doing $10 for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Highly recommend that you agree at this point in time.
Well, no, that's not actually what I was trying to calculate.
Okay, because I'm like, if you don't, you're gonna put me back into the, oh crap, I need to charge $1 for them. It's already costing me more than that to do it. It was very funny.
No, this was the, okay, when I go to publish this, how much should I do for
10.
this one?
I actually went and asked Tim of Rocky Mountain Con. And I said, is that a fair price? He said, yes. And then I said, would you pay for it if you were a collector? And he said, yes. Those were the two major questions because right? Brent is like very aggressive about this. Brent's like, we spent forever trying to convince Guy to stop being a twit about this.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out mine.
I know. That's why Brent is doing that.
If mine's 120 pages, how much should I charge for it? Like 30, 40? That's a hard question.
Yeah. Well, so I guess my feeling is you're coming up on tankobon size. So, like,
yeah.
Tankobons are usually 300 pages. So it's a graphic novel, effectively, which is about 120.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm kind of getting is, yeah, I think that's really the good question that needs to be asked is how much will it cost you to have it printed?
Yeah, and even that I don't quite know just yet.
So I would say whatever is your printing cost, MSRP should be about 4 times that.
Okay.
That'll cover because that's about what they're all saying to me here. Right, because then coming at it about, I don't know, $250 plus this stuff over here, plus all the things, because I'm actually putting them in bags and boards and stuff like that. This is for Brent. It even says it on the back. Well, it says number 1, so it's for Brent. Because Brent wanted literally the first one out of the thing. So I put for Brent on. Brent now gets the misprint. Probably will get a non-misprint today. So there you go, Brent. I put specifically for Brent, number 1 for Brent. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gathering is. Oh, this has tape on it.
Hey, guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I sealed
I
it.
want number 3.14.
I always knew you were a pie lover. My mom used to have a cat called QuACk. All right. All righty. Looking at this page. Yeah, so Brent is suggesting find out how much per book it is, then calculate the cost of the print book and times it by 2 to 3.
Okay.
I would concur with that. That sounds pretty accurate.
How did you spend your COVID lockdown? Well, I wrote a graphic novel. Wait, what?
Yeah. What I'm doing too is like, what'd you do? What? You what? Your what hurts? I was world building, and then Chang is cursing a lot in this particular one. I'm wondering whether I should tone her down. I mean, she's naked, so I mean, it's not like this is for kids anyway. But still, I'm wondering whether
Are you working? Is this for issue 2?
No. So before we started issue 1, I did 2 sort of side stories to practice, to test out how to do the whole process and sort of hammer out the process. So they're all individual scenes, and they're already built, they're already written. All I need to do is just render them out and draw them. And I don't want to start doing the work for Airship 27 until after we get back from IndieK. And IndieK, I move into the hotel on Wednesday. So FYI, I won't be here Wednesday through Tuesday. And I probably won't be here tomorrow after about, say, 10 o'clock. Because it depends. Tomorrow is my run around the entire city of Denver and pick up stuff and everything like that. But I need to see whether we've gotten the email from the printer that says that we're ready. So, but that's okay. But anyway, yeah. So the long and the short of it is, I don't have anything to do right now. So I went and realized these were already written and a lot of panels are already done. Might as well finish it. And if I do, I'll end up with another 24-page comic.
Yeah,
I was hoping to do it all before you showed up again and then go, oh, by the way, I did another 24 pages while you're... Because it would have sounded much cooler than her. But it would have humored me greatly, and I would have laughed. So there's that.
I'm finally catching up to you. Well, shit, I'm gonna have to go even faster. What?
Right? What? Oh, wait, what? That way, if you sell 1/3 to half at a convention or through online, you make the print cost back, and from there you would be in the black. If you have a book 2 or another one you're ready to print, you can print the same amount Yeah, see, that's what's going to happen with all the money I'm going to make off of issue 1 will give me a bigger run for issue 2. At least that's the theory. So all the money I make will go back into a pool where I will just send it off, obviously, to Avanti Printer.
But that's just a theory. A comic theory.
It's a comic theory. Not a game theory, a comic theory. We have to be careful. If we do that too often, my kid will realize that we actually know what he's talking about. That'll change his entire opinion.
Wait a minute, what? My dad's an old fogey. He should be dead by now.
Right?
Oh, so we were attacked by a game. Whether you realize it or not, you were attacked by a game.
I was attacked by a game?
Yeah, a game. It's one of the Mega Man games. The main character you play runs up to this old man, this decrepit old man with a cane. And his text box line is, "I'm 30 years old."
I see.
I was like, I saw this and I'm like, and that's when I took my walker and I started beating the game to death.
Right. That was easy. Oh, well, that's even stupider. The cup is literally where it's supposed to be. And I didn't find it whenever I was trying to model it the first time. Alright, whatever. I must have been asleep at the time or something. You're not going to get any argument out of me, Brent. I'm good.
I mean, you might get some argument out of me, but I'm just that way.
Yeah, you're cranky, man. You're just horrible. Arguing with everybody all the time. Ow! Ow! Stop hitting me. Stop hitting me.
And that's when he brought out his swizzle stick.
She doesn't get to drink out of actual cups very often. Because this is all on the Polaris. So they don't actually need, they don't need the space bulbs that everybody drinks out of on the QuaCk. have an eye target? She does. Yep. So we start NDK this week, and all starts to become very complicated for me. This is probably my last real evening that I can, do this. I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to do this.
I'll just play it by ear.
Yep.
You can. If you can't, you can't.
I'm glad you're here and running the old cinema thingy. I don't think I'm gonna do that space stuff, so I don't worry about it too much. This is a wide. So I did 16 by 9 on this in the render settings, and I really probably ought not to have. And for those of you who are actually, you know what? Those of you watching at home, you'd be like, why did you do that? And the reason is because what needs to happen really is, in order for it to look realistic and authentic, it is better to do this as if it was a camera and render it wide like so, and then trim. So zero her out.
So I don't think we got to talk about it, but what are your feelings about Clip Studio going subscription?
I'm bitter and angry. What's even funnier is you and I literally the night that they announced it, you and I are like, well, at least Clip Studio won't go to the subscription model. And you're like, I don't know. I think they will. That night, after our stream, they announced it.
And everybody was mad.
Everybody but the Japanese are mad.
Well, even the Japanese aren't happy with it.
No, they're just going to put up with it. I am pretty bitter about it because I think everything is going to go to that model, and it'll be like it is with everything else. I can only afford to be an artist to do two things, because unfortunately I cannot afford to spend $7,000 a month on all of the different subscriptions. More importantly, the reason that I think that they like the business model is more and more of us have a hard time remembering things like that. And the more complicated the world goes, the more difficult it is for us to remember all those things. And so for them, this is a good business model because a lot of people will forget. And
well, there's also another thing too at play. It's eternal money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's not just, oh, they'll forget. It's right now it's one and done. So after that guy never pays for the product again.
It's true.
So they're trying to turn those people into perpetual customers. And I don't think that's a sustainable model.
No, what you end up with is you just end up with, until your product is not usable anymore, and then we just stop using it, and then nobody uses it, and then you just go into obscurity. Which is
or something better comes along.
Yeah, I think Adobe's going to find that one soon.
Yeah.
Because that's actually why I am staying with Clip Studio, is because of that. But at least I can keep version 1 for a while.
Yeah, and everybody's like, with the AI art, everybody's like, they're shitting on that one comic that came out for the AI art, saying, oh, well, this is what you should expect, and look how crappy this is. And I'm sitting here going, guys, this is version 1. Like, you're shitting on this now? And you should be, like, deeply concerned.
What bothers me is I'm very happy with version 1, except for like 3 things. There's nothing wrong with version 1 except the text controls suck. You know what I mean? Like, it's like just a handful of things that bother me about this. And it would be the perfect software if it wasn't for like these 3 things. And I can't remember the other 2, but anyway, there's like 3 irritating things, and one of them is text controls. Like, it really sucks at controlling text. And so it's like,
well, and it also uses celebrity likenesses, which can get you into a lot of hot water.
Clip Studio?
No, the AI art program.
Oh,
were you not listening to what I just said?
Well, you were talking about a comic that was written. I was listening. I'm still talking about Clip Studio.
It was an AI program that generated an entire comic page.
Right.
And people were shitting on it, going, well, it's beautiful, but, this is just crap. And I'm sitting there going, this is version 1, guys.
Yeah, we're talking about 2 different problems. You asked me what my feelings were on Clip Studio, and I was on the Clip Studio part of this discussion. That's all.
Come on, out, out, out.
Okay, I'm about to go into render hell. Why are you running? I don't need IRA. Oh, I guess RSL is the new thing. Okay, well. Page 7, shot 1. All right, moving out onto the things. Rising. Completes Act 1. Taking a phone call. Okay, see you later. Bye, Donald.
See you, Donald.
Seems like she's still somewhere. Still a smile going. I'm not sure where I get that smile from. Right there. It was fine. I want control over that. Here we go again. Boom.
Sorry, I'm suddenly being quiet. I'm trying to figure out this panel.
That's actually, ironically, exactly what's going on with me. I'm like having to figure out. The next thing is a lot of action out of Chang. So I saw an interesting article the other day. Oh, Brian, where'd Can go? Who knows? Maybe it came back at some point. Ah, Can's back. Can's back.
Yes.
And Can's front, too.
Yeah, small dog came running in, bounced up and down, and completely took out the internet.
I hear that. She's breaking out of the panel. What do you expect her to do? She's what? Totally a. You've got to be kidding me.
What's up?
Moment. Chang was just informed that Instant Cayman, which is named after you, but Instant Cayman is only 3 years old.
Oh.
Because he's an AI, but
yeah,
he came online and then immediately wanted to be in the military. That was just what he wanted to do. So they fast-tracked him, put him in the military. But she's like, wait, whoa. The person in charge of my ship is 3? You know, he hasn't even been in the private sector. He hasn't done anything. So this is she's leaning forward and going, the hell? 3? The music always does great stuff when I'm rendering. That may not be the way you want. I think I'm going to have to do a lot of manipulation of that pose here, which is fine. Just looking at her in this pose is giving my legs cramps. Just saying. Like, no human does this correctly. No human does this pose.
Well, it's usually a fast action.
Yeah, it is. Oh, look at you using like game terms for these things. Your role-playing game is showing. You could do this as a free action.
Oh yeah.
The bend and the twist are confused. It makes me think that our best bet is to zero this arm out real quick. Pepper's here.
Hello.
There's a Pepper.
Hey, Kyan.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I can't complain. You?
About the same. Can't complain.
I'm sorry, hold on.
He's got a horse. Crap. He got himself a horse.
I got 2 coconut
Of course.
Yeah. No, I figured I have to finish up, like, laundry, so might as well get on.
You got nothing better to do. That's fair.
Well, I mean, I got some work done. Just not anything art-wise earlier, because once I got off, I did lunch, and then I started doing stuff upstairs, because I have my home visit is September 8th. To renew my home study, my home study.
Yeah.
So, which sucks, but we gotta do it.
Fair.
Are you guys just drawing and chilling?
Yep.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Okay, maybe, Guy, you can help answer this for me.
Maybe.
I've never really done the whole Halloween party at someone's home before.
You mean going somewhere else?
Like going to someone's house. Like while trick-or-treaters are still coming to the door, and like you have older kids who don't really want to go trick-or-treating, so you have like a party.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are maniacs. Just warning you.
The ones that stay at home and have a party?
No,
Yeah.
the ones that don't want to go trick-or-treating.
Well, I'm thinking, okay, so my basis is I have a bunch of teenagers living in a house in the comic that I'm, like, doing the script for right now, and I'm at, like, the pages where it's describing what they're doing, and, like, I don't know if I want to do, like, a game, per se, per page that leads up to the whole, like, event where it challenges the characters to go to a place that, you know, type deal.
Mm-hmm. The plot, where the plot happens?
Yeah, and I'm just like, wait, what are, besides bobbing for apples, and...
How realistic are you going to make it? Is it nostalgic or realistic? That's the important question. Because if you...
Well, I kind of want
to...
I kind of want this to be like back in the day in the 80s.
Right.
Or like the feel like it's the 80s, but like a little bit more modern aesthetic with the clothing.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is like when you're talking about the scene in the section of that, because like in the 80s we didn't bob for apples. That was silly. We watched Halloween 1 through 27,000 or whatever, back to back to back, and turned off all the lights and then tried to scare the crap out of one another. Which is one of the reasons why I hated Halloween for a long time.
Okay.
Because we all know how much I absolutely adore being scared and startled.
Yeah.
So I was their target. I was their primary target. So, but that was the stuff that you... So it depends on whether you're trying to make it nostalgic, at which time they're bobbing for apples and things like that, or whether you're trying to make it realistic, at which time it's, you know, character 1, hey, did you hear about blah, 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 character 2? No, I didn't. Character 3, boo! Got you both.
Yeah.
You know, sort of stuff.
Well, you see, the night is gonna divulge into the game of the game instead of Truth or Dare, but Scary Telly or Dare, which is basically you tell a scary story that you can think of on the spot, or you take the dare.
Right.
So that's where I need to end up.
Yeah. So.
But I need to have it like look like it's lighthearted fun up until that point.
So what you have is you have the one guy who's the jerk, who's going around spooking people and scaring people, and then they say, "Oh yeah, you know, look, man, don't mess with me. I don't do well with being scared." And then he goes, "Oh yeah, well, what happened to you?" And it's like, "Look, I'm not going to tell you." Well, then let's play, truth or dare. You have to tell me what the story is.
I have to be careful with that type of attitude because these are all foster kids.
So you mean foster kids don't screw around with each other?
No, well, no, they do, but like the three characters are brand new to this home. They don't know any of the other kids, let alone the other two kids that they are like. If you pick one of them,
oh, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
So, because then you've got the kid who's from that home who's just going around messing with the new kid. The new kid's got the story, and maybe you can even flip it on its head. And the new kid's like, "Look, you want to really talk about something scary? Why don't we play this game?"
Okay.
Kind of the Twilight Zone. You want to see something really scary? From Dan Aykroyd of all people.
Which I found out is another person that has heterochromia.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Sorry, the earlier conversation tie-in that we had.
No, yeah.
Today, we were looking up actresses that had heterochromia for dream casting for his comic. And
What's heterochromia?
where
One
you
eye
have
blue, one eye brown.
multicolored eyes.
Oh. Okay.
Because Bennett has a brown eye and a blue eye. So if we were going to cast Bennett, who would we cast? We'd have to find somebody who has one brown eye and one blue eye. And so we were poking around with actors who actually have one brown eye and one blue eye. It was like, come on. Well.
Yeah.
Who knew? I actually should take a break here real quick. I just got a heating pad for my back, and I need to plug it in before my wife turns off all the lights. I can't see where to pull it in.
Is there anyone in the chat with us?
There was a couple people. I don't know.
And then I joined and they went away?
Yeah.
Oh, I drove people away. Maybe I should leave. They'll come back.
Well, no, they left before you got here.
Oh, okay. They just anticipated. Got it.
I failed at that mission. She's already got the lights on. It's too late for me to fix that problem.
Excuse me. Freaking pollen lately has been
insane. It's not just pollen. There's a horrible amount of pollution.
It's been driving my sinuses nuts.
Mm-hmm. And that was a sympathy sneeze from Pepper.
No, actually, I've been avoiding going outside myself. I have the added benefit of the greeley smell that occasionally has been wafting over into my neighborhood.
So how was Fort Collins Comic Con?
Your guess is as good as mine. I ended up not going.
Oh, poor Raph.
neither of any of us take him up on the offer?
I was working.
What
I had
guy
to
did
work.
Well,
So
I messaged him back. It wasn't right away. It was a little bit later going, did you mean to call me? Because it just, out of the blue, he just called.
mhm.
And I had no idea what was going on. And like 2 hours later, he finally was like, oh yeah, I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah, because I know when I said no, he was supposed to call you.
Yeah, he called me and I was busy at that point.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, from what I saw from other people posting, it looked like everyone had a good time. But that's social media. That doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start playing earlier.
Okay, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know any other Halloween games. The only thing I ever did was bobbing for apples or picking up ducks at Halloween.
Oh yeah, watching movies. That's definitely a thing we did.
Okay, normal
So-
people watch movies on this night because
And they were always horror movies.
You'll have to forgive me. Halloween's my childhood. We didn't necessarily watch movies until after we got home from trick-or-treating, and it was usually a Disney Halloween movie.
Yeah, but if you're talking about teenagers,
Yes.
and the teenagers are going to watch movies, they don't really go out trick-or-treating. We didn't. We went we did when we had the younger kids. Like, as long as we still had younger brothers and sisters and stuff like that, we had to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, there's a
That was
few
always a
sibling
pain in the
groups.
butt.
There's a few sibling groups in the foster home that I'm laying out, and the youngest children go out with trick-or-treating, but there's still a few of them home mixed in with the teenagers. You know, some kids just don't want to do it, even when they're go trick-or-treating even when they're young. So that's why I think I have bobbing for apples still in my mind.
Yeah. So, if you're having a normal Halloween party, then everybody wears a costume. Usually it's crappy because nobody really wants to spend time or effort on the costume. And then, because you're in teenager, you're after your mom puts you in a cute costume, but before you're a cosplayer. So you're in that, I put on a button-up shirt and now I'm a serial killer because I look like everybody else. Yeah, and you think you're clever.
And you're also going to be playing like Halloween kind of music, so you have spooky music going. I'm actually looking up Halloween.
What do you do at Halloween?
Yeah, like, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I have to ask these questions because I did not have like a normal Halloween kid growing up. I went trick-or-treating, I watched Disney movies that were around based off of Halloween stuff for Disney, and then I went to bed. Like, that was my childhood, even as a teenager. Like, that's what we always did. I don't know what normal people did.
Ooh, pumpkin decorating.
Oh yeah, carving
I can
pumpkins.
do that.
That's the thing. We carved pumpkins. That's right. The hell did her?
And I'm also gonna throw in a game of some type of D&D-esque like game going on at another table.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
That'll work.
I mean, honestly, legitimately, we did that. That's what we did do. We were playing D&D or Star Frontiers or whatever because it was us.
Ooh, ghost stories. Tell them the
They'll get to
spookiest
that.
ghost stories. Yeah.
They're supposed to get to that at some point in the story. So that's the progression. We're trying to get all the stuff up to that point. So that's the progression point.
You know, it'd be a really interesting board game. Like, have them play a Halloween-themed board game.
A Halloween-themed board game? Like a Halloween Monopoly?
Sort of. There's actually a specific one I'm thinking of, and they just ran a Kickstarter for it.
Well, we have to figure out what era it is, because like Gloom is great for Halloween.
Well, if this is 80s, this would work, because this is a game called Atmosphere, and the cool thing about this game was it used the VCR and it would play.
Oh, that's right.
It had a tape component, and you would play the tape, and it would have a countdown timer, and occasionally the thing on the VCR side would break in and change the game as you were playing it. So you could have something like that.
Mm-hmm. I remember that there was that VCR game, and I hated it because every so often it had the monster pop out and startle you.
It screamed, "Stop! Whose turn is it next? Heads up!" I love that game.
Surprisingly enough, I mean, if it was modern times, like if I was basing it in 2022 or 2020, I think 2019 is when or 18 is when the game came out. But they made a game of the movie's Goonies. Of the movie Goonies.
That'll work.
And they just had a expansion pack drop as well. Problem is, it's a more modern one. Not necessarily like a game that was created back then for a board game. But that would be cool. But I can also do what they're like. I can just make the role-playing D&D stuff in that style where they're just making it up and not in like someone's like basically like, dude, aren't we gonna just use magical monsters? Why do we have to do pirates and kids? Could be one of the lines coming from the myriad of children.
Mm-hmm.
And you think one kid should be a jerk? Scaring kids?
That's what I was thinking, is you have the one kid come in and do the boo, which prompts the other kid to go, look, if you're such a bad person, if you're so scary, why don't we do this game? You know? You want to see something really scary? You know, sort of thing.
And that's when the kid ripped his face off and revealed his alien face.
That's actually sadly exactly what I was thinking too, because I think that's exactly what they were doing at Twilight Zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we'd have to kind of manipulate it a little so that it's not quite as cliched.
I think I'm going to have this course of events happen for 4 pages. There we go. I'll leave it up to each page being slightly different. And try to... this means I now have to write music. Dang it. Oh well. Royalty-free lyrics. What? It's a facepalm because I have to write music?
No, facepalm's because I'm making a facepalm.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, how do you do a facepalm?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I got it. Thank you, though. But it has nothing to do with you. It's totally the typical thing of my character is doing a facepalm, so how do you do a facepalm again? This looks weird.
You know, it is actually kind of funny how much acting comic artists have to do for like a panel.
Right.
You know,
it's surprising on how many picture photo references that we do of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think Handsy Handsy is like the app that I downloaded that I like literally have like hands and feet that I can like contort. But I didn't pay for like the upgrades to have like animals and stuff. So I just have human bodies on it.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's kind of amazing to me is how often we have to use, or how often we have these weird things that we need, like knowing how to draw animal legs. You know, because we don't always think of it in the same. We don't think of it necessarily in the. Everybody always thinks that animals have reverse legs, and they don't. And you have to know the anatomy to get that all right, you know.
Well, there are a few animals that actually do have reverse legs.
Yeah, but when we're talking about cats, they don't have reverse legs.
Well, no, they have. Their anatomy's so weird.
Cats have very, very long feet.
Yeah.
And they're walking on their toes.
Yeah. It's like, basically they have like this really short part. Here's their hip, which is like huge. And they have this short part that jets out this way, and then their foot goes down. And their paw is literally the very end of their foot.
yeah, it's kind of similar to if you look at the bone structure of a goat, they're walking on their tippy toes.
Yep.
They're literally walking on the nail, and it's a gigantic foot. They're just on the nail.
Yeah. What's the other one? The weirdest skeletal stuff that I've seen recently is the sloth. If you've ever seen a sloth skeleton, it is the weirdest looking thing ever.
I've seen a sloth, and it's already pretty weird looking.
I mean, if you look at the skeleton, it's even weirder.
Like, even a bat is pretty weird. If you look at the anatomy for, like, a bat skeleton, they're jazz-handing their way through the skies.
Yeah, and some of them have, like, fingers on the tips of, like, where their, like, everything protrudes from on their wings.
Yeah.
And some don't. It's like their fingers are like their hand fingers are their wings. And it's
Fingers.
depending on the species of bat you're trying to draw is whether or not they have fingers on the tips of that like part. Essentially, they have like extra fingers. not all bats happen. I found out when I was looking it up one day. It's quite sad. But I always draw them on there because of those show gargoyles.
Right.
And it's cuter to draw the little fingers on it.
Oh, right. Aww. You can't use open with more than one thing. That's a bummer. Who designed this program? Not really. Really? Hi, we're not doing this right at all. That would annoy you.
Truth or Dare ever played with a bottle?
No, that's spin the bottle.
Yeah, that won't work.
Yeah. That's gonna go bad quick.
Yeah, that'll go really bad really quick.
Although I hate to say this, but that is the age group.
Yeah, I know. But seeming that all of them are being cared for by the same foster parents, it's a little weird. Even if it is a foster home, it's still a little weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking back to when I was that age. That was definitely a thing I was into.
Yeah, I wasn't really. Like, I played Spin the Bottle. I also played Suck and Blow. So.
Yep, there's that.
But those are all games that I did because it was like socially, that's what everyone was doing, so I had to join.
Right.
Not necessarily
well,
because I suggested doing.
I think you'll have a different background than, because of the nature of your upbringing. And by that, I mean Florida. There we go. Just to dig at Florida random?
Well, you're not wrong.
Hey, we dig at Texas all the time. And for much the same reason. I'm actually backing out of that joke because I'm doing the same thing to you that I did to poor Can once, which is concentrating on work and not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm trying to make humorous jokes that aren't appropriate. So I need to back out quick before I get too far into that one. One of my streams locked up. It says that, but it's not locked up.
This 13-page story is literally turning into much larger.
Yeah, that happens.
Ugh.
That's the thing. What is it the kids say? That's a mood.
They say that now?
Yeah. They say all kinds of things.
Do you think a scary story, like in a game sense, where I don't have to really go into the story in details, just basically just having someone like say a story and having people like picture stuff in their mind? Like, should that last maybe only like 2 or 3 pages, or should I go to like 5?
Are you talking about telling, not showing?
Like, so they're playing the game. I figured out on how to get up to the game part, and now they're in playing the game. So I made the jerk kid going around scaring people tell the story. You know, like, he's getting a rise out of scaring people, so of course he's going to want to scare everyone with the story, right?
That makes total sense, yeah.
Would a jerk kid make sure that the story was long, or would he try to do it short? Because, like, my campfire experiences, we would try to do long format stories.
Right.
But they're like
you
super
into
long.
these things.
Huh?
Kind of try to lead you into the story. So
Yeah.
200 years ago, there was an old man who. Yeah.
Yeah, but with this one, it's like you have to give other people turns, so the stories should be a bit shorter than that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have them start on one page, but there's a little bit of lead up onto that page, and then the rules were explained prior on a prior page, and then he goes first. He asks everyone to choose which one they want him to do. Since they were like being scared by him, they just said tell the scary story. So should I try to wrap it up in like a short manner about the crazed doctor that was experimenting on kids in an abandoned, what used to be the old foster home that's now abandoned?
So, probably, if you were to ask me what I would do, is I would have a frame where you have the kid go, oh yeah, well, why don't you tell a scary story or whatever. Then have an exterior view of the house with just the lights on, and you see ... and then blah 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 blah, and then cut into the inside so he tells the final piece of the story. So then it's the long form, but you showed sort of then time passes. That's what I probably would have done if you would ask my opinion on that one. That'd be what I would.
No, that's fine. Okay. If I'm asking a lot of questions, I'm just like
we're fine. Do what you need to do, man.
Yeah, I'm just like pushing like my comfort zone right now. So
you're good to go.
Yeah, both Kane and I are cooking over here. We're working. So that's all. You don't have to take that as like we don't want to talk to you.
Well, it made filling, so guess what I'm doing tomorrow? Making dumplings.
Yay!
It's a very weird style of steamed dumpling I'm making. It's based off of a Korean dumpling. I forget the name of it. But it doesn't have seafood in it. It's vegetarian.
Cool.
So,
Orange
Bless
juice.
thank you. I think I've settled on they just have to go into the abandoned building for 2 hours. And like most ghost stories that like alter their perception of time, 2 hours turns into longer for them.
Regulation 46A.
Yep.
Communications are being monitored during battle. No uncoded messages over an open channel. Hours instead of days. Now with minutes instead of hours. I totally just quoted Star Trek 2. Sorry. Actually,
Why?
sorry, not sorry.
Pretty much a written rule of storytelling.
Yep. That's a sorry, not sorry moment.
Yeah.
They say sorry, but really, I'm not. We all know it.
I have a splash page I added in between when the jerk kid starts his story and ends his story. So I have like a splash page of the abandoned building that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. That works.
So like everyone will see what he's talking about at that point.
Fair.
I had their talking cat actually like reveal in one of the pages that he was watching them back then, too. And I'm having the three main characters aged to 19 versus the 15-year-olds that they're going to be in the story. So.
Well, I think I'm gonna pop out a little early today. I've got my 2 pages done, and I am
Yeah,
gonna catch a little
I'm starting to
few
slow
Z's.
down too. So I think I'm going to go to bed early as well. I think we are close to being over there. So I will. I'm like looking at this going, I don't know, it's not making any sense anymore. So I'm like, maybe I should go to bed. So, okay. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I'll run the closing credits for you there, Can. And I will see. I will be back on tomorrow morning, but I'm only going to be on for a little bit because tomorrow's my run around town day. So 9 to like maybe 10 total. So just so you guys are aware. And then I will see you all later. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.